Welcome to Great Dismal Swamp. And despite only being a fraction of its original size, this forested wetland still encompasses 190 square miles, straddling southeastern Virginia and northeastern North Carolina. 18th century planter William Byrd II is credited with giving Great Dismal Swamp its name. Why the name? Because of its sheer former size, which totaled perhaps over 1 million square acres. Great in Great Dismal Swamp is obvious. Dismal and swamp in the name is a bit redundant, because during the 18th century, swamps were considered dark, dank, if you will, dismal, inhospitable places, beset with dangerous animals. However, some hardy people did find a way to eke out an existence in Great Dismal. Most notably, thousands of 18th and 19th century escaped and some freed slaves that took refuge in the swamp. These slaves, referred to as maroons, built semi-permanent settlements on the elevated drier islands that punctuate the swamp. Noted 19th century author Harriet Beecher Stowe, best known for her famous first novel, Uncle Tom's Cabin, wrote her second novel, Dread, the title of which is the main character who is a Great Dismal Swamp maroon. And despite its name, this swamp is an enchanting place, rich in wildlife diversity. Such diversity includes over 200 species of birds, nearly 50 species of mammals, approximately 70 species of reptiles and amphibians, and just under 100 species of butterflies have been recorded. According to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, red maple is the most abundant and widely distributed plant community in Great Dismal Swamp. And this is due to the lingering effects of past forest cutting, extensive draining, and the exclusion of forest fires. Tupelo gum bald cypress and Atlantic white cedar, formerly predominant forest types in the swamp, today account for less than 20% of the total cover. For today's video, I'm just going to concentrate on some of the more common turtles and snakes a visitor might encounter while hiking through Great Dismal Swamp. Beginning with turtles, there are several species that are quite abundant throughout Great Dismal. Here is a coastal plain cooter, one of the larger turtles you may encounter. Another species, the yellow-bellied slider, is perhaps the most common large turtle in Great Dismal. Ah, look, a baby yellow-bellied. These are red-bellied cooters, also common, basking with yellow-bellieds. Although here is a red-bellied basking with two spotted turtles. As you can tell, spotted turtles are a much smaller species. And in Great Dismal, spotted turtles are as pretty as they are abundant. If you are lucky, you might find one crossing one of the dirt roads that penetrate the swamp. The smallest turtle that inhabits Great Dismal Swamp is the eastern mud turtle. It is a shy, secretive animal, but can often be found crossing over land, moving from one body of water to another. The aptly named eastern painted is a medium-sized turtle with some striking coloration. A spotted turtle joining an eastern painted to soak up some sun. Turtles bask, in fact, because they need the sun's UVB rays to produce vitamin D3 to help them use calcium. This handsome fellow is the eastern box turtle. It is the only terrestrial turtle found in Great Dismal, so expect to find these guys on the more elevated man-made trails that cut through the swamp. Alright, let's switch gears and talk about snakes. The most common snake you are likely to encounter in Great Dismal Swamp is the northern black racer, because they are often found patrolling the edge of hiking trails in search of prey. They are opportunistic feeders and will eat just about any live small prey that they can capture, including other snakes. This particular one is eating a leopard frog. This is the eastern kingsnake, which can also be found along the side of hiking trails, especially in bushy areas adjacent to the water's edge. They are called kingsnakes because they often prey upon other snakes, including venomous species. And as you can tell, they can get quite big. Okay, so since we are talking about a swamp, you would expect to find some water snakes. This is a very large example of a female brown water snake. The northern water snake is a bit smaller than the brown water snake, but is more colorful and uniquely patterned. The aptly named red-bellied water snake, in my opinion, is the prettiest out of the three common water snakes. Water snakes primarily prey upon fish and amphibians, and despite being called water snakes, they are really considered semi-aquatic. The eastern cottonmouth, aka water moccasin, is also semi-aquatic and is one of the three venomous snakes that reside in Great Dismal. Although they get a bad reputation, these snakes rarely strike out in defense, instead relying on mouth gaping as a warning sign. Cottonmouths have a diverse diet and includes amphibians, fish, rodents, and reptiles, including other snakes. The copperhead is the second venomous snake that resides in Great Dismal, and although considered common due to its cryptic behavior, it is only occasionally spotted by the casual hiker. Copperheads prey upon rodents, birds, amphibians, other reptiles, and on occasion, large insects, such as cicadas. You are most likely to encounter a copperhead on warm summer evenings crossing country roads. Although uncommon and rarely encountered, the third and largest venomous snake, the timber rattlesnake, also referred to as the canebrake in the southeast, deserves a quick mention here. Despite all my incursions into Virginia and North Carolina, the only canebrake I have ever seen was unfortunately this one, killed by a vehicle. This is the complete list of snakes, turtles, and other reptiles, and also amphibians, that can be found in Great Dismal Swamp. As you can tell, I have only covered a limited number regarding turtles and snakes. And if you decide to visit this enchanting place, perhaps you could check a few more off the list. Alright, that's a wrap. Thank you so much for joining me today on my trek through Great Dismal Swamp. And if you're ever down here, I suggest trying the Great Dismal Black IPA. Cheers.